This is a summary of performance testing on our Ron-Jon Auto Strip. We used a selection of OEM and aftermarket panels for our Ron-Jon Auto Strip testing, which covered a variety of paint systems as well as powder coat and emblem adhesive foam. For each test, the sections being stripped were masked off using vinyl tape to isolate the work areas. Generally, there were two sections for each test, one that had been lightly sanded by hand using 150 grit paper and one that was not. There were two types of reactions to the Ron-Jon Auto Strip. The first can be seen on this Honda hood, where the paint takes 2 or more hours to begin wrinkling, but lifts in a film sheet which is very easily scraped away. This result was seen on the Honda, Mercedes, Mitsubishi, Buick, and powder coat. The second type of reaction is shown on this BMW aftermarket hood, where wrinkling starts earlier, from 30 minutes to 2 hours, but flakes and separates from the primer layer. This flaking lifts the Ron-Jon Auto Strip away from the primer, hindering penetration. This reaction requires modest scraping, as you can see, and sometimes reapplication of the stripper. This type of reaction was observed on the Jeep, Chevy, Toyota, aftermarket, BMW aftermarket, and emblem adhesive foam. A third reaction similar to the second was seen on the Ford truck paint, where no wrinkling occurred, although the paint was softened for scraping after 1.25 hours. This chart summarizes the number of applications required to complete removal of each paint system. In no case did the material dry out, but rather had to be reapplied because of the flaking effect previously described. 50% of the coating systems were removed with a single application, and only one required a third. The average time for total removal from the unsanded sections was 2.65 hours. The sanding seemed to cut about 15 to 45 minutes from the process. This chart shows the time between application of Ron-Jon Auto Strip and when wrinkling was first observed. Again, note that the Ford truck paint did not wrinkle but was soft enough to scrape at 1.15 hours. What we learned from this is that you should apply the stripper and give it ample time to wrinkle the paint. The one that took the longest, Mercedes, was one of the easiest to remove. The paint just fell away. This series of tests shows that Ron-Jon Auto Strip is a very effective product when you remember that it contains no hazardous air pollutants, no toxins, no chlorinated solvents, that it is not an RCRA or a DOT hazardous material, that it has no California Prop 65 chemicals, isn't flammable, and has only a moderate exposure rating. You begin to see its true value. For more information, call or email us, and be sure to visit www.technichem.com.